Back in the winter of 2020, YouTube recommended me this video titled Day in the Life of a Japanese Manga Creator. The video showcased a mangaka by the name of Miyajimi Reggie who worked on his manga titled Rent a Girlfriend. It was a pretty standard day in the life video, but at the time I was like, dang, that's pretty cool. He draws on an iPad. I thought the manga industry was in the Stone Age, drawn on stone tablets or something. And in the video, he said that his manga was gonna have a summer 2020 anime adaptation. I was like, you know what? I like this video. I like his vibe. I'll watch the anime when it comes out. Fast forward an epidemic later and Rent a Girlfriend airs, and I watched all of it. And when I finished it, I actually liked it. I mean, of course there's stuff I didn't like about it, like really didn't like. Like, I knew this wasn't well written or anything, but I just had dumb fun watching it. But overall, I just had fun. It was just about this loser incel that just got dumped, and to cope with it, he goes online and rents a girlfriend because he couldn't help but being a bigger loser. Enter Chizuru, his rent-a girlfriend. And then yada 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 happens, and now the main dude's friends and family see him with his rent-a girlfriend, thinking it's his actual girlfriend, and not wanting to admit to his friends and family that he's a fucking loser. He has to keep up this act that his rent-a girlfriend is his real girlfriend until further notice. And that's the basic schmoop.com summary of the series. And I like the anime enough to be like, you know what? I'm gonna go read the manga. And then I read it, and you know what? I enjoyed that too. I was entertained. I mean, there was a lot of dumb shit that happened, but that movie arc was alright, I think. I became up to date with it in a matter of 2 days, and it was up to chapter 170 at that point. And overall, I was entertained. But there's a thing I like to do with the series I finish or become up to date with, and that is to rethink and reflect and look back on what I liked about the series. Now here's where it fucked up, because Rent a Girlfriend doesn't want you to use your brain. It wants you to read the manga like like it doesn't want you to think about it. But the second you start to use one chromosome of your brain to process the manga, you realize, wait, ain't shit happened. And the manga tricked my dumbass, making me think it was actually decent just because it wasn't boring. And the second you realize this, you can never enjoy this show again. No, but really, this manga sucks Peter Griffin's nut-shaped chin, and it's the worst thing I've probably ever read. Or at least the most frustrating. Oh yeah, before I start, spoilers for Rent a Girlfriend manga, even though there's low-key nothing to spoil. And also, this video is kind of meant for people who've at least watched Rent a Girlfriend. I'm just saying this because this video might be a little boring if you have no knowledge of the series at all. But you can stay to find out how terrible this series is. And to the anime watchers who are afraid to get spoiled, when I say there's nothing to spoil, I really mean it. Out of the 156 chapters that haven't been adapted yet, I can only think of 2 somewhat big things that happen in the story, which, by the way, these 2 things have nothing to do with the romance of the story, which is the main plot of this romance manga. Those 2 things being Chizuru's grandma dies, no, not the grandma we actually care about, or like, it's just Chizuru's, and Kazuya and Chizuru make a movie. Not that kind of movie. Sadly, it's just a movie to get Chizuru's name out as an actress. That's it. That's all I can think of. That's all that happened. That's every relevant thing that happened for those non-manga readers. But I'm not gonna lie, there's a few things that I liked during this time period of trash. When Kazuya told Chizuru that he was gonna make a movie for her, that was the first time I've ever felt something other than hatred towards him. And also that time when he brought the projector inside Chizuru's grandma's hospital room to show her the movie before she died. That was very nice. Not gonna lie. And then everything else is monkey shit. I'm tired of this long ass intro, so let's get down to business on why this manga sucks, dick. Let's start off with the characters. I'm not gonna lie, I was never a fan of Ruka. I thought she was very clingy and annoying. The only reason why this show's fanbase said she was best girl is because she has big boobs and she's underage. Y'all some weirdos. But in the manga, she's 20 times worse. Because the reasons why she still stays with Kazuya and the things she'll do to keep that relationship going is just dumb. Alright, let's start with the dumb shit she does. So first of all, she constantly clings to Kazuya. So much so that she wants to go to his family events as his girlfriend, knowing damn well Chizuru is going to be there, and everyone in his family knows Chizuru as Kazuya's girlfriend, but she doesn't care because she literally acts like a child. And Kazuya has to lie to everyone and say that she's a pathological liar just so the situation won't get any weirder. Wow, this is what you have to do to get a family's approval? That's one way to not be liked by anyone. She's also so clingy and dumb to the fact that when Kazuya literally tells her to break up with him, even though he could just like break up with her himself, But yeah, he tells Ruka to break up with him because he loves Chizuru, and then Ruka's like, yeah, I already know that, but I love you and we're soulmates even though you don't like me at all and show me no affection in private or in public. So no, I'm not breaking up with you because having a one-sided relationship is better than having no relationship. Man, this girl must be drinking water from Flint, Michigan because she's on the spectrum. What's wrong with you? What's the point of being in a relationship anymore if the love isn't shown? What's the point of being in this relationship at all? Because remember, the only reason why she got with and wants to stay with Kazuya in the first place is because he made her heartbeat increase by a little bit. Wow, really? You know what else can do that? Exercise, roller coasters, like literally any semi-active activity. So it's like if I jumped Ruka out of nowhere before she even met Kazuya, would she fall in love with me? Like, I'm a guy, and when I punched her in the jaw, her heart rate increased. So now we're soulmates. This whole manga is just dumb as hell. She's also toxic as fuck. Not only does she force Kazuya to stay in a relationship with her, she also goes out of her way to ruin any chance of him confessing to Chizuru and any further relationship the two could develop. Examples: she lies to Chizuru about her and Kazuya having sex so that Chizuru doesn't develop any feelings for him, and also, in a way to convince Kazuya to stay with her, she literally tells him that he has zero chance with Chizuru because their relationship is only business and will never be any more. So he might as well not even bother trying to confess to Chizuru and just stay in the unhappy relationship he's in with Ruka. Bruh, what's wrong with you? Isn't this manipulation? This is super toxic behavior. And also, it's not like she's changing either. In the most recent chapters, she's trying to prevent it from happening more than ever. She knows exactly what she's doing, and she feels like she's not doing anything bad. So not only she's a toxic person, she's also an annoying bitch and a dumb character. Ruka's terrible, and the next character is just as bad, if not worse. You know, I kinda liked Mommy when I watched the anime. I felt like her presence brought a lot of tension and what I thought was interesting conflict at the time whenever I saw her. I feel like it was only interesting because at the time, you didn't really know her intentions on why she's messing with Kazuya and Chizuru. And then when you read the manga, it's just dumb. Like, I still don't really get her attentions, but they must be stupid because she's doing the absolute most to mess with them. So much so that it makes you think, why? What are you gonna gain from this? So right now, Mommy is working as Grandma Kazuya's business assistant or something, and we all know Mommy's only doing this because she wants to do a little trolling. She even goes on a family vacation with Kazuya and Chizuru's family just to mess with them even more. Eventually, Chizuru and Kazuya separately confront her saying, the fuck are you doing? What's your problem? And then she gives both of them different answers. She tells Chizuru that she's messing with them because Kazuya is a creep and he'll ruin Chizuru's life if she keeps in contact with him. And Mommy says she's only trying to help Chizuru, even though she's constantly throwing around that she could expose Chizuru and get her fired from her rent-a-girlfriend job. Yeah, you're helping a lot. Then she basically tells Kazuya, oh no, I'm not trying to cause any trouble. It's just that we hadn't hung out in a long time and I just wanted to see you again. Which is also a lie because she does this smug glare at the ground after the conversation, which, by the way, every time she does this, I just want to freaking scream at my phone. Don't act like you're gonna do anything. After hearing these responses, I finally realized, oh, she doesn't have motivation. She's just a bitch. She literally goes out of her way to mess up a relationship that she has 0% a part of to make sure that her ex that she doesn't even like, that she broke up with a year and a half ago, by the way, doesn't get his way. Bruh. Why do you care? Why do you care about anything this man does? Why are you even doing any of this? Like, go somewhere, man. She's just a petty idiot who apparently has no life because she's spending her time hanging out with and messing with people she don't even like or care about. And for what? Getting information that you're gonna do nothing with? Oh, Chizuru's a rental girlfriend. What am I gonna do with that? Absolutely nothing. And she's been doing this shit for a year and a half. Keep in mind. Like, you got nothing else better to do with your life? You got no friends to hang out with? You got no family to talk to? You got no hobbies or anything? Like, she's low-key a fucking loser. She just does this dumbass look at the end of every scene she's in and tweets out to her 5 followers. I feel like her only purpose is just to annoy everyone, including the viewers. And some people might say, oh, she's an antagonist and you don't like her? Well, that's how you're supposed to feel, you poopy head. She's a well-written villain. And to the people that say that, no, that's stupid. A well-written villain is someone with well-established motivation and backstory on the reasons why they do the things that they do. I probably could have described that better, but I'm no analyst. Mommy has no reason why she does the things that she does other than being petty and being a bitch. That's it. That's basically just being evil for the sake of being evil. I don't want to talk about her anymore. Let's just move on.
Oh no! Our table! It's broken!
Okay. Out of the 4 characters I'll be talking about, Chizuru is the least bad. She's just so bland now. Like Mommy, I like Chizuru when I watched the anime, but when I read the manga, she was just on so much childish behavior when it involves her and Kazuya. These two are acting like middle schoolers when it comes to the topic of relationships. And not only relationships, but every time someone asks her about the relationship between her and Kazuya, she won't even admit that he's more than a client. Like, come on, man. Y'all been doing this for more than a year. You can't even say that he's a friend? I know she doesn't mean it, but every time she gets asked what is Kazuya to you, she acts like a child. She a grown-ass woman, and she's acting like this. She used to be such an entertaining character, but nowadays she just acts like a middle schooler, and also every time she has fun now, she just thinks, fun? I remember I used to have fun with my grandma. Yeah, she kind of sucks now, but she's at least miles better than the next character I'll be talking about.
Help! He's escaping! The killer is escaping! Help me!
Kazuya is the worst main character in anything I've ever watched or read, and I feel like it's universally agreed on that he's terrible. And if you're still watching this and have no idea who he is, which thank you for staying this long, you deserve the best massage from the prettiest Asian. Imagine a man that pays for a hub membership, a man that subscribes to OnlyFans accounts, a man that sits down when he pees, a man that pays a girl streamer his life savings just so she can say his name. The biggest beta male you could think of, that's Kazuya. This man is the dumbest, most annoying simp I've ever seen. I'm not even going to list out specific things he does in the story, because we could literally be here all day, nigga. Because it's every single chapter, every single episode. I'm just gonna talk about his character as a whole. So, Kazuya is super pathetic. He jerks off to pictures of his ex, doesn't know how to talk to a girl without fantasizing about her body, and just doesn't know how to talk to them, period. Lets his ex talk shit about him in front of him and all of his friends. Rents a girlfriend, pays hundreds of dollars a month on his rent-a-girlfriend, so much so that he has to get a job to pay off these dates. This is just a sad excuse of a man, and that's coming from me. But that's fine. You could be a loser and a pathetic character while also being well-written. You could make him work, but the author writes him like he wants you to hate Kazuya. Cause 1, the man doesn't develop at all. Whenever you think he learned something, he forgets it the next chapter. And when he finally feels like telling the truth, he wants to tell it at the worst possible times. Like wanted to say Chizuru and his relationship was a lie on Grandma Chizuru's deathbed and at that dinner party. Of course, he doesn't say anything in neither of those situations because this story doesn't develop, but I'll be talking about that in a second, don't worry. But this man doesn't have a brain, and also whenever him and Chizuru have a perfect moment for confession, and he doesn't, it's like he forgets every moment that him and Chizuru have ever had, acting like he hasn't known her for more than a year, thinking his relationship is nothing more than a rental relationship. Oh my God. What, my guy? It's like this man has the memory of Joe Biden. Mr. President, Mr. President, why is the government slowly running out of money? Like this man doesn't fucking learn. And on top of being a pathetic loser, he's also a terrible friend to the only friend that actually cares about him, Kibe. Kazuya is always getting pissed off at Kibe when Kibe actually tells him good advice on what he should do in his relationships, and Kazuya's getting all mad and thinking, oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't know the situation. He's stupid. He doesn't know. He doesn't get it. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Even though Kazuya doesn't tell him anything about his situation ever, like, what do you expect? Why are you giving him shit for something that you won't tell him? This man is just giving me migraines. Other than those 2 small things that I mentioned at the start of the video, he's the most annoying and I can't talk, frustrating character to watch. I don't want to talk about this dude no more. All 4 of these characters are bad. Anyways, let's talk about Sumi real quick. She's probably my favorite character in Rent-A-Girlfriend right now. Her and Kibe, because they're the only characters that don't make me want to get my eyes pierced. But that's because they're barely in it. I guarantee you if they were shown more, the author would find some way to fuck them up too. Anyways, let's move on to the main thing that makes this series terrible. So the basic plot of Rent-A-Girlfriend is that Kazuya and Chizuru are faking their boyfriend-girlfriend relationships for both of their families because Kazuya rented her while being seen by them. But now they like each other for realsies, but both of them are too pussy to confess. So now us as an audience wait for that confession to happen because that's the main plot. Okay, anime-only watchers. Remember the last episode of Rent-A-Girlfriend? At the end of the episode, Kazuya finally confesses to her and we're just like, ah, finally! This man actually has balls. Good job. Good on him. And then he was like, oh nah, that was a joke. And then they play it off like nothing happened. Remember how pissed off you felt at that moment? Well, what if I told you they did it another time? And another time. And another time. And another time. And they still do this to this day. 100-something chapters later. This manga has no development. A grandma with Alzheimer's and wooden knees moves faster than this manga's plot. The story is always running in circles, not progressing anything. I'm about to tell you all the beats to the average Rent-A-Girlfriend chapter using this meme I found on IG that tells it very accurately. Step 1. Disregard cliffhanger from the last chapter. Because every chapter ends on a cliffhanger that makes you think, oh, will they, won't they, oh, I don't know. And then the first few pages of the next chapter is just forgotten about or just brushed over. Step 2. Write 15 pages of filler. Most of these 15 pages of filler are just like Kazuya just going, oh, Chizuru, she's so pretty, she's so nice. Oh man, look at her sexy body, ooh. And then the rest of the filler is just dialogue that doesn't matter. It's just random chit chat. This series actually gives me hemorrhoids, I hope you know. Step 3, draw a 2-page spread of Chizuru. Now this one, I really hate because these 2-page spreads are just like these really well done art-wise panels. Like these panels actually look really good, but it's just for like nothing. Like they're not really important. She's not really saying anything of importance. It's just like random dumb dialogue and just random events that happen. Like it's just dumb. There's no reason why this needs to be 2 pages long. The only reason why they're 2 pages long is because the author wants to make you think, oh, look how pretty Chizuru is. Look how pretty she is. Isn't she pretty? And because he has nothing else to write for the chapter. Step 4 and 5 are the same. It's just setting up a cliffhanger for the next chapter. Usually these cliffhangers are, oh, mommy's about to tell Grandma Chizuru about the relationship. Oh, Kazuya's about to confess. Oh, Ruka is still dumb as shit. Like, it's just those kind of things. And of course, step 6 is repeat and
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
that's basically each chapter of Rent-A-Girlfriend. It makes you want to get a lobotomy. The chapters go nowhere. And when it starts looking like it'll go somewhere, trust me, it doesn't. Every time when I read a chapter and it sets up that a confession is going to happen, one of these 2 things will happen. Only these 2 things. Either Kazuya pussies out, or someone interrupts in the middle of it, and it leads to nothing. What? You thought there was actually gonna be a confession? What did you think, this was a good manga? And if you read the manga, you probably noticed I've been using a lot of recent chapters as evidence. That's because the last 50 chapters have been peak garbage. I have never seen a series so consistently shit. Usually there's like 1 or 2 things that could be pointed out that you like, even in a terrible series. But these 50 chapters have been nothing but just After the movie arc finished, this is when you realize how terrible the series is. The movie arc was already dragged out in and of itself, but at least it had its moments, and it was also sometimes entertaining at least. But man, these last 50 chapters are just frustrating. Literally nothing is happening. These chapters are the definition of repetitive. Each chapter repeats the same beats of the average Rent-A-Girlfriend chapter from the meme. Fun fact, I dropped the series at chapter 174. It was one of those fake confession chapters, and at that chapter, I realized, oh, he's gonna keep doing this shit, huh? I just couldn't deal with it anymore, and the only reason I became up to date with it was for this video. And at the time of me recording, chapter 209 is out, and that chapter was also garbage. And we also had one of those fake confession chapters a few chapters ago. Kill me. I didn't really read it though. I kind of just skimmed through it, probably only reading like 3 bubbles of text each chapter, but I still understand what's going on fully. And to the people that think, that's not reading it, you don't get the current story. Keep in mind, I've read the prior 174 chapters fully, and I think I read enough of the recent chapters to understand. Like, I get it. This manga fucking sucks. I don't need to waste any more of my time. Even if there's a confession this arc, this manga still is terrible. A confession happening within the next 20 chapters, which I really doubt, it doesn't forgive the literal 100+ chapters of absolute agony we had to go through. I don't care anymore. I really don't. So season 2 has been confirmed, and I'm honestly hoping they will make it an anime original. Like legit, a Promised Neverland season 2 would be better than this shit. I'm serious too. Like, it would legit be better than what we currently have. Like, they could make up anything to make the confession happen. Like in season 2, Chizuru can be like, oh, I only like black guys. Then Kazuya's like, alright, bet. And then he goes to Dr. Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated. Ah, Perry the Platypus is what? Who the hell are you? And then Dr. Doofenshmirtz zaps him with the nigga-inator. And now Kazuya is a sexy black guy. Then he goes back to Chizuru and he's like,
yo, what's poppin'?
And then they have Blasian babies, the end. That story I just made up is already better than the whole series. I'm kinda done talking about this, so let's just go to the conclusion. I used to think the worst thing a piece of media could be is badly written in every way, shape, and form, and also being boring. Like, I personally think Serial Experiments Lane is an example of that. I think it has terrible writing, terrible characters, and on top of that, it's super boring. You just don't understand it. Shut the fuck up. But my thoughts on that anime is another video for another day. But yeah, I used to think being badly written and excruciatingly boring is the worst thing a piece of entertainment could be. Until I read Rent a Girlfriend, where it's terribly written, but it's not boring. It just pisses you off on like how something could be so shit for so long and continue to get worse. This is a new level of garbage. This series is terrible. I'm never gonna read it again, and I don't have the energy to yell about it anymore. You see, it's just sad because there's like other manga that have the same premise, kind of like this, like the will they won't they kind of thing, like Uzaki-chan, Nagatoro, Kage-sama. But in those mangas, they've already done their confession things already. Like, I know that's spoilers, but like, no shit, that's gonna happen eventually. But nope, not Rent a Girlfriend. Nah, they don't progress this story for hundreds of chapters. I'm kind of rambling on this point. I'm not even reading the script. It's just, I'm just done with this. Yeah, that's the video. That's it. Like and subscribe if you haven't, and comment what's your favorite thing about Chizuru's toes. I don't know. In conclusion, I want to die.